All right, so Draymond, you are such a...
Klay Thompson, yup. Splash Brothers, yup. Cavaliers, nope. We won, yup. They suck, yup. We here, yup. They not, nope.
How much you have left of being, you know, the best basketball player in the world, and how much you have left to give?
No, I don't. But I do also know that Father Time is undefeated. But I definitely don't think about me not being the best basketball player in the world. It's been that way for a while, so kind of got used to it.
Kevin, with your free agency all year long, you know, the fans around here obviously want you back. Do you want them expressing how much they want you back, or do you already know, or would you rather not hear anything from the public?
I mean, if that's something I can't control.
Wow, 10 years. The 2016 NBA season for me, it's the greatest NBA experience of my entire life. And today, I want to relive it. When I look back at the storylines heading into this season, it's actually crazy how different the NBA looked back then. LeBron was heading into his second season back with Cleveland after that heartbreaking loss in the finals. Kevin Durant, he was basically the storyline of the following offseason, and everyone wanted to know, was he really tired of Russ, and would he really leave OKC? This man has always been that guy since he stepped foot in the NBA. So basically where he went dictated the rest of the decade. Knicks fans, they were pissed that they actually got a high draft pick and used it on this guy.
From Liepaja, Latvia. To talk about this subject, because as a native New Yorker, I'm completely disgusted. When I look at this kid, Porzingis, let me be very, very clear about this kid, Porzingis, okay? Phil Jackson in the New York Knicks passed up on at least 4 dudes who are NBA ready now. You got Willie Cauley-Stein. You passed up on him. You got Justice Winslow, who I think is the steal of the draft. You passed up on him, okay? Stanley Roberts out of Arizona. You passed up on him.
And the San Antonio Spurs, they landed LaMarcus Aldridge, and he looked to take that baton from Timmy D. And the NBA champion Golden State Warriors, well, they were basically in the exact same shoes as this year's OKC Thunder's team. I made this video right after OKC won their championship because OKC is damn near reliving their reality 10 years ago. One of the greatest complete seasons by a team ever. MVP superstar in the middle of their prime. The hardest team to consistently score on all year, and some people gave these rings asterisks. 10 years ago, on May 25th, one of the most iconic NBA tweets was posted. And to be honest, LeBron's NBA mortality, it was a serious question heading into this year. LeBron had just been to 5 straight NBA finals. That had never been done before in the modern era. The last 2 NBA finals, he clearly had a lot on his shoulders. And now, this man is in his 30s now. How much longer could his play style really last? Bleacher Report's #1 question heading into this year was, will LeBron's mileage finally add up? And we know that answer.
My man Jay Lynn was doing his thing, Jay Hill doing his thing.
Nick out there hitting his free throws, you know how he do it. You know, Jay Lynn going to the basket like it ain't nothing to it but to do it. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, Mike, man, you got a nice suit on today too, man.
Appreciate that, Swag.
You got that.
Men's Wow.
Now, would that happen if you were there? Would there be a celebration?
The Lakers at this time, they were stuck between having arguably their best player ever on his last leg and clearly needing to rebuild. The Golden State Warriors, they heard all the talks and they started their season off 24-0, the greatest start to a season ever. Stephen Curry's first MVP is questioned by some because context typically gets washed as time passes. But if there was any questions about Steph's true dominance, well, he solidified it with this year's MVP.
And that's what he did. He made his last 4 threes in the final 153 Want the distances from 25 feet, 30 feet, 29 feet, and 30 feet. And for those who don't get it, the line's about 24 feet. So the last couple, he's shooting them 6 feet beyond the arc. Well, it's, when you say he's pulled up from 30, it's way out there. You know how far it is, and he's just like, they're effortless.
In Steph's first MVP year, he scored 40 points or more 3 times for the entire season. In the first 24 games in which they went 24-0, he more than doubled that. While Golden State started their season off 24-0, their soon-to-be rival started their first 24 games without their second best guy. Kobe Bryant announced his retirement in late November, and every game he played from there, even as a clear shell of himself, it just felt monumental. Clearly not the same. But he did give us some vintage moments in a year the Lakers basically took off for him.
NBA champion with the Los Angeles Lakers, Kobe Bryant!
NBA All-Star Weekend. Personally, I believe they should abolish the dunk contest now. This specific year, we got the best dunk contest that I've ever seen. Zach LaVine won and defended his 2015 dunk contest championship. But man, it's a shame that Aaron Gordon did all of these dunks and doesn't have at least one. Mark Jackson was well beyond his time, and he called this the best shooting backcourt ever. And this weekend specifically, it just felt like they stamped it. The 2 best shooters in the world, defending NBA champions, and they're the last 2 shooters remaining in this contest. It was just special.
Making the All-Star team.
I mean, I don't know what, I don't think there's much else I can do. I think, but the fact that our team is in playoff contention, we got an opportunity to play in the postseason right now. Like you said, I'm having a career year individually, and a lot of that is putting us in position.
Now, I don't know why I remember this part so well, but Kobe obviously made the All-Star team. It's his last year, and bro, he's Kobe. But that means somebody got snubbed. This to me, this was like the beginning of the whole Dame is so underrated narrative that used to be a thing. That one snub, unfortunately, it was him. The game directly back from All-Star break. He basically single-handedly put one of those rare losses on Golden State's jacket that year, and he scored 51.
Steph Curry is now in the midst of having the greatest single season any player has ever had. Any player in NBA history. You can throw all the numbers at me you want.
If you want to know just how insane Steph's year was at that time, Skip said this February 25th of 2016. The next day after Skip said this, Steph scores 51 and hits 10 threes. The game directly after this is one of the greatest regular season games I've ever seen live. Russ just clearly didn't like dude. OKC clearly didn't like this team, and you can just tell. And the shots he made all game, it just felt unreal. Iggy barely gets them into overtime, and in overtime, well, Steph, he hit one of the craziest shots to ever close a game. One of the most forgettable moments of this season to me was just how dominant San Antonio was. Golden State won 73 games, and obviously that took over all the headlines. But the San Antonio Spurs won 6 less games. Kawhi won the Defensive Player of the Year, and the team itself lost 1 single game at home. To this day, the greatest homestand ever.
Kobe, they're doing a big celebration for you the last game. A lot of us are going to be there. Can you promise me one thing?
What's up?
I need 50 that night. Can you do it? Your last home game at the Staples. Can you give us 50?
42.
The regular season wraps up with absolute cinema. Kobe's last game and Golden State chasing history. Still the craziest ending to a year ever, bro. And they both lived up. Golden State does it, and they wrap up this perfect regular season exactly how you would want. And then on ESPN2, you have one of the greatest players of our generation giving us the greatest last game we've ever seen.
He is the first unanimous selection in the entire history of the NBA.
Stephen Curry wins the first ever unanimous MVP. Karl Anthony Towns, he dominates as a rookie and he wins a unanimous Rookie of the Year. The Cavaliers fired their head coach and promoted Ty Lue, and this postseason truly was the most anticipated playoffs that I can remember. History was at stake. The 2016 playoffs pretty much didn't even let us breathe for a second. The back-to-back MVP, he got hurt in the first game of the playoffs, and he pretty much had to miss the entire first round. Even with their best player playing less than 40 minutes in that first round total, they were still able to beat Houston in 5 games. Toronto this season, they actually won the most games of their franchise's history, and they were the 2nd seed. But Paul George returning from injury, he surprisingly had one of the best series of his career, and he pushed that team to 7 games. Cleveland as the 1st seed against Detroit, they were simply hungry. Specifically Kyrie, who probably feels like they would be champions had he never gotten hurt in the finals. He was hungry. LeBron finally got to not lead his team in everything, and Kyrie led the way in a sweep. In OKC versus Dallas, well, Mark Cuban clearly could see the writing on the wall with Russ and Kevin Durant, and he wanted to create some friction.
Were you aware of Mark Cuban's comments before the game when he said Kevin was the only superstar on this team, and how do you react to that?
Hold up. He's an idiot. Don't listen to this. He's an idiot. All right, that's what we got to say about that. He's an idiot. Next question.
Before the game, you were out waiting for the opening tip. Charlie Villanueva came out and sort of lingered behind you for a second. Did you know he was back there, and did he say anything, or what was going through your mind?
He said a lot.
He's
was
an
there,
idiot too.
But now he get to go home and do whatever he need to do, get ready for next year to sit down and watch more 82 more games like he did this year.
Might not even be in the league.
That Golden State Warriors team was so good, even outside of Steph, that he was basically able to miss the entire first round and 3 games into the second round, and they still took command. Steph came back in game 4 against Portland off the bench, and this was the first time where we seen Steph look like Steph again. In overtime, Steph scored 17 points and he hit this dagger, and he let everyone know he's back. Now, the stunner of the playoffs early to me was this series. Remember, San Antonio also had this historical year as well. Damn near all the experts picked OKC to lose to San Antonio. But remember I told you, San Antonio only lost 1 game at home all year. Well, OKC was able to steal game 2 in San Antonio, just getting by. The Spurs did respond in game 3 and took back home court, but OKC just had a major advantage that became glaring as the series prolonged. This team was simply just younger, much faster, and one of the best rebounding teams of the century. That team was just big and tall. Even Russell Westbrook is the best rebounding guard ever. And they actually grabbed the most rebounds in like 25 years. That OKC team was plus 45 against San Antonio on the glass. And they beat San Antonio in San Antonio twice, more than they lost all year. And that would be Tim Duncan's last game ever. LeBron swept the 1st seeded Atlanta Hawks the previous season without his guys. So with them,
disrespect, but what made you do that, brother?
Think we was losing. Shit, I was sore losing. Beat I ain't win a playoff game against that nigga ever. I was sick of the shit.
And that year, personally, I wanted to see D Wade versus LeBron in the conference finals, and we almost got it. The conference finals. Man, did I actually believe we had a series between Cleveland and Toronto. Cleveland defended their home court in the first 2 games, and Toronto did the exact same thing. But in the last 2 games, Cleveland won by a combined 64 points. Golden State versus OKC. This rivalry looked to be real, and this was clearly one of the most significant series ever. OKC was clearly hot, and they stunned Golden State in game 1 with really nobody shooting well. Game 2, Golden State looked like they restored order. Games 3 and 4, those are 2 games that I will never forget.
because we've been down before. We've been down 3-1 too. We just went down 3-1 too.
Yeah,
who I felt like was the best team in the league.
Yeah.
I felt like OKC was the best team in the league.
Mm-hmm.
They had the most size. They had Serge was playing his best in his career. Steven Adams was doing his thing. KD, they got 3 7-footers on the front line.
Right.
In those 2 games back in OKC, one of the best playoff environments to this day, OKC out-rebounded Golden State by 30 boards. Stephen Curry in Game 3 had the lowest plus-minus of his entire career to this day. Golden State only lost by 20 twice all season, and they hadn't lost back-to-back all year. Well, OKC beat them by 20 twice back-to-back.
So obviously it's a tough night. Curry's shooting better, but he also came up with a big steal in the fourth. Do you think that he's underrated as a defender?
I mean, getting steals, I don't know if that's just, that's a part of playing defense, but, you know, he's pretty good, but he doesn't guard the best point guards.
I always bring this up when I talk about this specific series, but when I seen Russ hit this shot and then dap up his brother, I said, damn, Golden State is really done. But then in the next 3 games, the your turn, my turn basketball in OKC eventually ran out, and they never had a plan B. In games 5 through 7, these two were combining for over 50 shots a game, and nobody shot even 40%. Meanwhile, in game 6, Klay Thompson saved their entire season, cashing 11 threes, and their historic backcourt alone averaged 60 a night in the last 3 games when they needed them most.
I mean, guys talk trash in this league all the time. You know, I'm just kind of shocked some guys take it so personal. I don't know how the man feels but obviously people have feelings and people's feelings get hurt even if they're called a bad word. I guess his feelings just got hurt.
Klay Thompson said, I guess he just got his feelings hurt.
What happened? What Klay said?
When someone says said finals is the best finals ever, they're typically not talking about every single individual game. It's normally the drama and the back and forth that comes along with the series. And this series had everything and more. Golden State beat them the year before without Kyrie and Kevin Love. Golden State won 73 games, and they're obviously chasing history. LeBron's trying to live up to a promise that he made when he immediately became the most hated man in Cleveland 6 years prior. And the games outside of Game 7, they weren't really that close. But let me just give you all the drama that made this series so damn iconic. The Warriors go up 3-1 against Cleveland, and Game 4 is where Draymond and LeBron has this moment. Draymond gets suspended for Game 5 back at Oracle. Klay says this after Draymond got suspended. Game 5, Kyrie Irving and LeBron put together one of the greatest duo finals performances we've seen. Not only that, but without Draymond, this happened. Game 6, LeBron scores 41 points again. Stephen Curry and LeBron has this moment.
That one right
and
there
Game
made me the
7,
greatest player of all time.
For
That's
so
what
many
I felt.
reasons.
I was super ecstatic to win one for Cleveland because of the 52-year drought. Like, I was ecstatic. Like, obviously, I showed that the first wave of emotion was when y'all everyone saw me crying. Like, that was all for 52 years of everything in sports going on in Cleveland. And then after I stopped, I was like, that one right there made you the greatest player of all time.
well, you know the story.
Irving and Curry, one-on-one. Irving puts it up. It's good. Curry up for the layup. Oh, blocked by James. LeBron James with the rejection. This is for you.
You did what no other team had been able to do.
This is a story that I just don't buy. Durant to the Warriors. I think there's zero chance it happens. And I don't think it's a good move. I think there's zero chance it happens. I think the media wants it to happen. I think it's fun to talk about. Let me give you a...
I'm going to be honest with you. I do not believe had you not gotten KD, you could have ever beaten the Cavaliers again.